Hi, hello everybody. This is going to be a short video on Spentec 979, and I'm going to do a setup for STI measurement. So right now I have here 979 without any battery inside, so if I press the on off button, which is alternate and start together, nothing is going to happen. So I have a USB cable connected to my computer, so I'm going to power up this 979 with the USB so-called connector. So I'm going to insert this thing in. So because I'm powering up from my computer, when my computer detects that a 979 is connected, it's going to make a noise. So let me zoom in a little bit on the screen here and check the focus. Okay, and then press these two buttons, which is alternate and start stop. So press and the instrument starts up. So what I'm going to do is to zoom in a little bit so that we can see what is on the screen, and as well as the buttons. Okay, so the instruments will go into a warm-up time mode, and it's 60 seconds. I can escape it if I want to. Okay. Right, pressing this button will escape and go straight into the mode. Now I have been sort of like setting up the instrument, so it is already inside the STI mode, so I thought I should exit from the STI mode and go back to the regular mode so that the users will know how to get into the STI mode when required. So how do I go to the menu function? So to get into the menu function, I need to press the shift button and the menu button at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put shift menu. So in the functions, I have the menu, I have functions, I have measurements. So enter into functions, press the enter button, enter the functions. We have mode, measurement functions. So if I go into mode, I am looking at sound level meter, vibration meter, so on and so forth, but it is sound meter that I want. So I enter. So go into measurement function and then press enter. So I'm at this sort of like the measurement functions. So regularly we would be in a level meter mode or in a 1 octave meter mode. So if I were to go into level meter mode and escape, so this is a level meter mode. SLM is indicated on the top right here. So I'm in the meter mode. So usually when you first turn on the instruments, it may be in this sound level meter mode, because usually what happens is that people would already be in this using the instruments as a sound level meter. So this is a sound level meter mode. Okay, so of course I'm going through the various screens, and if I turn it off by pressing these two buttons together, the alternate and the start, and press these two buttons, power off, yes. Okay, yes, system is shutting down. Okay, so now I should start it again. Alternate and start button, press both at the same time and let go, and then the Spentec will start up again, and then my computer make a noise again as well because it's just connected. Okay, so now I will be starting this 979 in a regular mode, warm-up time as usual, escape. So how do I get to the STPA mode? I need to go into the menu. To get into the menu again, I need to press the shift key and the menu key at the same time. So I'm going to sort of like shift menu, go into the function. In the function, if you remember earlier, I have this mode and I got measurement functions. Measurement functions is where I can select the various different kind of measurement mode. So what I want to do right now is to go into the STPA mode, press enter, and right now I'm in the STPA mode, STI, right? So just now earlier on was sound level meter, now it's under STI mode. Okay, if I press escape again and escape, I come to this screen which says measurement point number 1. Now at this point, if I press escape, I am in this area screen. So if I go back and forth, right, escape, it goes between area and measurement point. To do the STIPA, to start the STIPA test is actually very straightforward. All I need to do is just press start button. But I want to talk a little bit more about the setup rather than just press the start button, right? So let me escape back into this area screen again. The area is not defined here, so I really need to go in and define my project, my area, and my source. These are the three things that we need to set up in order to properly start the test. So how do I go in and set up my project, my area, as well as my source? Go to menu is one way. So shift and go to menu, okay? And then we go into the measurement, enter. Under the STIPA, because we already have selected the mode. So in the measurement is where we have the STIPA setting. I just go back a little bit. Okay, this is the menu. Function is where we set up the instruments under measurement function, whereby we have set it up for STIPA. If I escape and then go back into the menu, the measurement is where I set up my STIPA settings. Right, so in the STIPA setting, press enter. Okay, the project is not set up yet. So how do I set up the project? I press the right arrow key. It's a new project, press enter. So press enter. So I have a new project. Default name project 1, which is fine. I can left right to modify it if I want to. If not, I can just accept it by pressing the enter button. So I press enter. Okay, so I have project set up. Next thing I want to do is to set up the area. So in one project, I can define an area whereby I want to start my STIPA test. So to do the setup area, I press the right button. Okay, I go into this select area. So there's no area inside, so I would do a new area. So I press enter button, and then I have area 1. Again, I can change it by going to the left right button, like here it says modify, but I'm happy with it, so I just press enter. So my area is set up. So I have project set up, area set up, and the next thing I need to set up is source. Now if I press the right button, I can go in and set up my source, but let's try and see if I press enter and see what happens. Okay, it comes back out. So I got to press the modify, I got to press the modify left right. Okay, if I press enter, it will just get out from it. So I want to get back in. I want to set up the source. So I press the right button key. It's a new source. Press enter. S1 is fine, and then I don't want to change it. I press enter. So I have the project, area, and source set up. Now I'm ready to do the test. Now how to get out from here? Press escape button. Okay, save change, yes. So it's changed. STIPA setting. Press escape again, because otherwise it will go back in again, and then menu, escape again. So I'm back here. So now right now I have area 1, source 1. The P is a measuring point, so 1. Okay, at this point I'm ready to start my test. Starting the test, if I zoom out a little bit. Oops, this is zooming in. Let me zoom out. Okay, starting the test is I need to have a test tone. I have a test tone that I save in my phone, so I'm going to use my phone as a source, so that we can measure it. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm starting up my phone. So each test lasts about 15 seconds. So my measurement point, first reading is taken. Now if I want to take another reading, this is very straightforward. I just press the start button and I can start another reading. Now I've started this second reading without the test tone. Now without a test tone, it's going to be bad, right? Because it is measuring whatever I am saying, and it is not expecting, it's not a test, right? So we probably have an invalid test, and the STI2 is bad, right? I mean, this doesn't make sense. So if I'm doing a test without a test tone, I'm going to get some strange numbers. And let's say, oops, what happened? I've done my test, but let's say I want to void this test. See, there's a two tick here. One is green tick. Both of them are green ticks. So to disable this second measurement, I press alternate and right arrow, alternate and right arrow. So if I don't press alternate, I will basically just move the cursor from view to delete. See, right? So, or I can go complete. Now to disable it, right now I'm looking at up and down. I'm looking at first reading, second reading, and then the second reading I want to disable it. So I press alternate and arrow, alternate and arrow. So I have sort of like void my second measurement. So let's say I start another test again. So my second test is completed and I have a second reading. So I can do up to 10 readings per measurement point before it would say that I've reached a maximum of 10 per measuring point. So for each measuring point, I can do up to 10 readings. But I am done with, if I'm done with this particular one measuring point, I want to move on. I can say complete. So I move my arrow, my cursor from view to complete. But let's go back and view it and see what's actually inside STI, this number 3, right? So if I enter into and view it, these are the set of readings that is for that third reading. So 125, 250, 500, 1000, 2000, 4000, and 8000 at the bottom. Okay, and when we have all the MTF, the modulating transfer functions here, F1 and F2, so altogether there are 16 values for each of the for this set of measuring point. So the measuring point is 1, measurement number 3. Okay, measuring point 1, measurement number 3. So if at this point I'm done, I've taken enough sample for that one particular point, I'm ready to move out. So I can press escape button to get out from here, and then move this view to complete, and then press enter button. So I've completed measurement point number 1. I'm still at area 1, project 1, area 1, and I have my first measuring point. So I move over to the second measuring point. How do I start a second measuring point? I have to, let me zoom in. Okay, and we can see the next there, right? The next is what we need. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let me move the cursor to next and then press enter button. Okay, so I'm at measuring point number 2. So at measuring point number 2, if I'm ready to start, all I need to do is just to press the start button over here. Okay, but because my test tone is not ready, so let me get my test tone ready. Okay, so my measuring point number 2, first reading is done. Again, if I want to take another reading, all I need to do is just take another reading. So like take another reading, And of course, now I don't have my test tone on, it's going to have some funny numbers, and I'm going to avoid this reading later on, right? Just to have more samples. It's not a good sample, but it is a sample. So it doesn't have any sort of like a test tone. So yeah, I'm going to press alternate, right? Alternate, and sort of like take out that reading from this measurement point number 2. So you get the idea. I can view it. Okay, I can go inside and view this particular test point, which has a rate so-called like indicator for 250 hertz, which means something is not right. So if I were to say I'm done with point number 2, I want to move on, I would say complete, and then I say enter. So I can have measurement point number 1, measurement point number 2, and for each of the measurement point I can have up to 10 readings. And the summary, if I go into summary for this particular area number 1, for source number 1, area number 1, source number 1, then I have an average of 0.81 and my delta is 0.03. So if I press enter in the summary, I am looking at the STI 8.81, a delta of 0.02, minimum, average LEQ, 2 measurement points, the standard, yes, it's done, it's met, right? So I need to press enter to get back. What does setup here shows that if I go to setup, I see these setup things that we did earlier on, but I'm going to escape from here. Just want to show you what it is. So at this point, if I press escape, nothing happens. So remember, when we are at this area, to get back, we need to press enter button to get back. So we have area, and then we have this summary. We can view, we can next, we can delete these particular points if we want to. So if I just want to carry on with my STI, right? So I'll just go on to next, press enter, and guess what? I have measurement point number 3. And then if I want to do the test, I press start, or else I can really sort of like go back, and then I only have 2 sets of reading. And if this is fine, then I can stop my test, right? The data is stored inside. I can download it. And what if I need to go to another area? So if I need to go to another area, we can go to the menu and change the area to number 2, or we can go to the summary and go from the summary. Remember, we can actually go to the setup. So let's since we have worked on the the setup earlier at the menu, I'm thinking whether should we go to the summary, but if we give too many options, then maybe it can be a bit confusing. So let's do the same thing, right? Let's continue the same thing. So let's go to the menu, shift menu, okay. And in the measurement, right? In the measurement, we have the STIPA settings. And in the STIPA settings, I can change my source. Actually, if I'm in area 1 and I have one source, and I want to change this to a second source, I can use another source, and then I can have a source number 2 for project 1, area 1. So I maybe have one source, and then I'm testing another source, and then I press enter, and then I press escape, save change, yes. So now I'm actually at the press escape again, go back to that screen. So I'm area 1, source number 2. So area 1, source number 2, right now there's no measurement, so I can start the measurement. Okay, I can start the measurement for the second source, and then it's going to take a reading right now, but of course I don't have my test tones going on, so it's just taking my voice, and whatever frequencies is coming out from my voice is going to be used in this measurement. So it's going to be limited because my voice is has much lesser frequencies than the test tones. So okay, so we have this second measurement, this source number 2, measurement point number 1, and then if I want to have more measurement in point number 1, I can press start again. Okay, and then this is the second reading in point number 1, and then the second reading in point number 1, and it's done. Then I move to, later on I'll move over to let this complete. I can move to another point for measurement point number 2 for source number 2. So it's done. Okay, so measurement point number 1 for S2, right? So I can say that okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this point number 1. I want to go to point number 2 and for this source number 2. So okay, so the thing here is we need to be we have to have the orientation how the data are going to be organized. Because if we organize the data here, when we download the data to the software, it's going to be very, very convenient, right, for us to manage the data. Else, we're going to get numbers all over the place. So this is point number two, source number two. I only took one reading. If I want another reading, I take another reading. Now, all these readings will not be based on the test tone. It's going to be based on my voice. And depending on my tone, it's going to just use whatever that is available from my voice in the assessment. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? Okay, so we're going to get all these numbers that jump out all over the place. So okay, this is we are in project one. We are in area one. We have source one earlier. Now we have source two. And let's say I am done with this, and I want to move over to another area. So I want to organize my data in another area, right? So I would go to the menu. To go to the menu, I press Shift menu, and then press go into measurement, enter, go into STIPA settings, and then right now I can choose the area arrow. I can have a new area, enter. I can, the default, it gives me area 2, which is fine. So it's important when we are doing our test to make sure that the area we mark area 1, area 2, otherwise we're going to be wondering like which okay, so now I'm in area number 2, and the source is not there, so I have to make sure that I'm area 2. I select a new source for this area 2, so I'll start off with source number 1 again, and then I can, when I'm done, project area 2 source 1, save, okay, and then escape, come back to this area 2 source 1. I can start another test. So make sure that the test tone is running, and then we can take a measurement of the test tone, and then I'm going to just keep on talking, and so that it has some values here, and whatever value here is going to be generated from my voice, and it probably will not be as consistent as if I were to have done it with a test tone, right? So okay, so I think the explanation is the intention of this so-called video is to show how we set up the 979 to do measurement. The measurement is a very easy part. Just press this start. But it is to make sure that we organize our data in the STIPA settings. And then, and where do you find that? You find that in this shift menu, under measurement, under STIPA setting. This is where we manage our data, right? So once the data has been collected, I may be turning it off, shutting it down. Okay, I bring the equipment back to the so-called like the office, and let's take a look on this so-called software now. So if I go over and start my Sven PC++ software, okay, so this is, I'm back in the office, and it's good to take readings on the spot when you're taking measurements. Use your phone or something, so that you have your data, right? In case anything happen, you have your data. So but we can have the data when we go back to our office, connect it to the computer, turn on the meter, and then the software will recognize the meter being connected, and shortly it would the so-called the serial number will appear on the bottom left side of the Sven PC++. Right now it has not detected it yet. Our instrument is still going through startup, which is fine. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so we have connected 979 serial number so and so. What would you like to do? Well, I would like to take a look at my Sven files. So I go to my Sven files, and take note that the folder selection here currently is not available, but in our STIPA files are saved in a STIPA folder. So please make sure that we look at the right folder, otherwise we're not going to see anything related to our STIPA test. It's going to be the other sound level so-called report. Okay, so this is on the left hand side is the sound level meter's memory. Right now I'm looking at the SD card. We have the internal RAM, which is the settings, but I'm looking at what I want to see is the SD card. in the SD card, and then in the folder called Stipa is where our data is at. For okay, so now this is the instruments. I'm in the project one. In project one, I have area one, area two, so on and so forth. But okay, I this is on the instruments on the left hand side. On the right hand side is the location at our computer. So at our computer, if we want to sort of like have a folder on our computer, then we need to have this setup. So let's say this is a Stipa test, for example, okay, one. Okay, so I have a folder called Stipa test one, and I go inside this Stipa test one folder on my computer. I need to know where I am. Okay, so please make sure that you know where your data is going to be saved at. So I created a folder on my computer, and I select this project, and I go like move it, download from the instrument, 10 files downloaded. So all my files are downloaded into this Stipa one and project one. Okay, so at this point my file has been downloaded, so I can turn off my instruments, and then press enter, turn off. Yeah, the instruments can go off. So my data is on the sort of the Span PC++. First, I would usually start a new project. Okay, in this project, I may say this is a Stipa one test, maybe Stipa test one. Okay, so this is the title of this project. Okay, and then I say okay. So the project is open up, and then I want to add files inside this project, right? So I open. Okay, open, and where did I save my file? Aha, so this is I think I save it in my this Span data. So yes, so we have to make sure that we know where our files are saved, otherwise we'll be hunting for them. Okay, so so I'm going to open up the file. So I have I've added this file. Let me add the the point number 2. Okay, and then let me add the this is area 1. I have 2 sources, so I have area 1, area 2. Let's go and add this this is source number 2. Okay, so let's say I want to add all these files there, but you know, like if I were to add this like this, it's gonna take forever, right? Let's see if I can do this better. Let me try and see if I can do this in a more speedy fashion. So the files are added already from my earlier so-called test. Okay, so I was thinking about something else, but project 1, and then we have this area 1. We have not added the area 1. We have source 1, we have source 2. So if you remember, I actually have this area 2, right? Project, I have area 2. So if I add the area 2 data files inside, then I should be able to see all my this data over here. Okay, I just want to close this. So this is project 1. I have area 1, and I have area 2, and for each measurement point I have the individual readings. So it's all here, and I can choose to whether include them or exclude them in my this software. And from here we can also make additional information about the background if we have information of the background. So let's say the STI right now for area 1 for source 1 is 0.75. The background currently is all assumed to be 0, but let's say we have information on this say for example it is a 40 maybe, okay, and then this is maybe 45, and then this is maybe 50 for the various different so if we have this information and we want to key them in subsequently to give a more realistic so-called assessment, and then we can key them in, and once we key them in, it will actually also affect the calculation for the steeper. So if I were to go back to the point earlier, it's reduced, right? It was earlier at a higher STI, and right now it's 0.65. Okay, so this is going to be where I'm going to stop. I hope that this video provides some insights as in how do we use the 979 for STI measurement. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.